want to go now back to Capitol Hill. Steve Israel, a Democratic congressman from New York. He will be retiring from Congress at the end of this term. Congressman Israel, also a former chair of the committee charged with basically re-electing House Democrats. Hi, Congressman. Thanks for joining us.
Great to be with you. Thank you.
So let's talk a little bit first about this House leadership. I don't know if you want to call it a fight, but the drama that is unfolding on that side. Does this delay now signal a threat to Leader Nancy Pelosi's role within the party?
I don't think it necessarily signals a threat. I think it's a healthy family conversation. We need to do some soul searching. We need to figure out what went wrong. We need to figure out how to tap into the anxieties of middle-class voters throughout the country. And so this is a necessary conversation. I do not want it to become an unnecessary distraction. We need to be fighting against Donald Trump right now. We need to be stopping him from bringing into the White House, white nationalists at the far end of the political spectrum. And so we need to unite to fight what Trump is doing and not devour ourselves right now.
I would ask you, Congressman, uniting behind Leader Pelosi. House leadership lost the majority, obviously, 6 years ago, netted only, I think, a gain of 6 seats this last cycle. So why would she deserve to remain in power in leading what you want to see as a unified caucus?
There is nobody who could have led House Democrats who would have had a different outcome. This was not about Nancy Pelosi. This is about a national Democratic strategy and message that simply did not tap into the unprecedented anxieties of middle-class voters. And so to suggest for a moment that we would have had a different outcome under anybody other than Nancy Pelosi, I think is short-sighted and unwise. At the same time, I think, in fact, I know that Leader Pelosi understands the importance of doing this assessment and empowering other people in our caucus who have some good ideas and some sound strategies to resecure those middle-class voters. That's exactly what she's going to do.
What do you make of the potential challenge from Ohio Congressman Tim Ryan?
I know Tim Ryan very well. I've traveled with him. He's a good friend of mine. And I think Tim Ryan would agree with me that we have to learn how to win elections in Youngstown, which he represents. But the way to win elections in Youngstown is to talk about the concerns and the anxieties of those voters and not get too bogged down into a leadership battle. Tim makes a very important contribution to our caucus. But really, do we want to spend the next several weeks on a process argument, or do we want to be talking about what solutions we have for middle-class voters and blocking Donald Trump from really tough things?
Well, Congressman, talking about those anxieties, I know that you in this interview talked about needing to tap into, or Democrats tapping into some of that middle-class anxiety. President Obama appeared to suggest maybe going to more fish fries in small towns for Secretary Clinton might have actually helped her in the long run. How do you reframe the messaging? Clearly, that kind of messaging is not getting through. Should Hillary Clinton have gone to more of those, rural town fairs? And how do Democrats push that moving forward?
Oh, look, Hallie, we can second guess from today until next year. The fact of the matter is this, whether you're left of center, right of center in the Democratic Party, you know one thing, and that is we failed to constructively tap into those middle-class anxieties. We didn't talk enough about infrastructure. We didn't talk enough about embracing those fears and anxieties. We didn't really understand the unique and unprecedented tensions that are facing the middle class. We've got to listen. We've got to do more listening, whether it's going to a fish fry or a Rotary. I have no comment on that. But before we can tap into those concerns and tensions, we need to listen to those people. And when we listen, we can begin to construct solutions and win back their votes. I'm going to devote a good part of my time going forward to that very important project.
Congressman Israel, thank you very much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
I want to go now to today's Microsoft Pulse question.